Bonjour, bienvenue à Canal Saint-Martin in Paris. Today we're going to discover all the hidden gems at Paris. So let's go to this most hipster, trendy area at Paris. Allons-y. We are in Canal Saint-Martin, which is actually the coolest, chillest district neighborhood de Paris. And j'adore ce quartier. I love this neighborhood. It's a peaceful pause dans la ville and that everyone is a local mostly and everyone is so chill. Et l'histoire, actually the history of this canal est très intéressant, is so interesting because it was actually commissioned by Napoleon I, Napoleon I, to bring in fresh drinking water at Paris. And so that's why we can see all of the iron bridges. We call them the footbridges. Et c'est intéressant that it was supposed to be demolished multiple times dans l'histoire. Et maintenant c'est ici, it's here. Pour les locaux, pour se poser, to pause and to rest, pour pique-niquer, to picnic, pour lire, just to read with their baguette and to have a chill time. They really like it. I really like it here. And so I'm so excited to show you all the spots. Je suis trop contente de vous montrer ce quartier que j'adore. And first, on va prendre un petit café. We're gonna take a little coffee or tea. Allons-y. My first stop, mon premier arrêt, c'est Buddy Buddy. It's actually a cute café qui est autour de la cacahuète, everything around peanut butter, que j'aime beaucoup. And they have like chais, they have robust teas, they have des cafés. Et ça vient de la Belgique, it comes from Belgium. When I come to Canal Saint-Martin, I often grab a latte juste ici, avec Mémé. Petit chai, I have my little chai. Il y a Mémé en train de bronzer, she's tanning. And c'est super intéressant, it's really interesting parce que le Canal Saint-Martin was actually partially funded by a tax. C'était payé par un impôt, but not any tax. C'était l'impôt sur le vin, so it was a wine tax. C'est super marrant. It's funny that it was partially funded by a wine tax. It was also approved by Napoleon I because it brought in fresh water into Paris. It also improved trade routes, genre le commerce, l'économie. And the local people were super happy. Tout le monde était super content qu'ils ont construit Canal Saint-Martin. If Canal Saint-Martin looks familiar, it's because c'était dans beaucoup de films. It was in a lot of movies, dont Amélie in 2001, and in 1938 and 1938, another French classic, Hôtel du Nord. Donc, it's a cinema paradise. Something that makes Canal Saint-Martin is right behind me, juste au-dessus de moi, right above me, are the bridges. They're called iron footbridges, donc ce sont des ponts. Il y en a plusieurs, there are a few à Paris, and it's really interesting because je viens de voir un bateau, I just saw a boat go under one. So let's go check out one of the footbridges. Allons monter sur le pont. I'm gonna interrupt her tanning sesh. Et maintenant, and now, on va monter un des ponts. We're going up the bridge of one of the locks. They're called locks. Avec Mémé. Et c'est sympa. It's really nice because actually, derrière moi, on a des ponts. And also, de l'autre côté, you actually have a nice view. Tu as une belle vue de Canal Saint-Martin. Really nice to take photos, and a lot of locals come here because they run, ils courent, and so they stretch on these bridges. C'est marrant à voir. Voilà sur un pont. We are on a bridge, footbridge lock, and it's so cool because I feel like this is exactly kind of the views that I'm missing in Paris. J'adore ces vues. T'as le canal, you have the whole canal. On a les grands arbres, we have the big trees, and il y a beaucoup de graffiti. This is a perfect place to snap some pictures, quelques photos, and also it's a great place to just enjoy the feeling of Canal Saint-Martin. C'est intéressant, it's interesting because même si c'est des ponts, even if they are bridges, they're also known as des passerelles in French. We say passerelle because it comes from le passage, so the passageway, and also passerelle because you're able to get from one side, d'un côté du canal, to the other side of the canal. Prochain arrêt, next stop, on va manger un petit bout. We're gonna eat a little parce que j'ai un peu faim. I'm a little hungry. Et en plus, c'est un endroit historique. It's a historical place. Donc, allons-y. Nous sommes à Pain et des Idées et c'est une boulangerie that's actually hyper historique, very historical, parce que ça existe depuis 1875, since 1875. It's crazy because when you go inside, quand tu rentres à l'intérieur, tu regardes la décoration, it really feels like you're in a time capsule. T'as l'impression d'être projeté dans le temps. Je viens pas très souvent, I don't often come parce qu'il y a toujours la queue, there's always the queue. And I decided to try un nouveau produit, a new product, qui est la brioche à la pistache. On va la goûter ensemble, we're gonna try it together. Pas mauvaise, hein? Not bad. Honnêtement, je préfère l'original, le pain au raisin. I prefer like the original raisin bread. Mais c'est une option pas mal. It's not a bad option either. Je me méfie toujours. I'm always like uncertain about les endroits comme ça, surtout quand il y a beaucoup de touristes, especially when there's like a lot of tourists. Mais j'ai aussi vu des personnes locales. I also saw a lot of local people. And they were telling me that ils viennent ici pour acheter leurs baguettes. C'est vraiment une institution à Canal Saint-Martin. It's really like an iconic place à Canal Saint-Martin. Dites-moi, let me know if you want me to talk about historical bakeries, les boulangeries historiques à Paris, because I know so many, j'en connais tellement. Et je pense que Mémé, elle explorera bien avec moi. Donc, dis-moi dans les commentaires if you want to know historical bakeries à Paris. Et juste derrière moi and right behind me, they were filling the canal avec de l'eau so that there was enough water for the boat to be able to pass. C'est impressionnant. It's quite impressive to see when it fills up with water for the locks to be able to let the boat pass through. And c'est vraiment fou. It's really crazy because actually, les bateaux disparaissent au Canal Saint-Martin. They disappear in Canal Saint-Martin. Not literally, but actually, au fond du canal, like, I don't know if you guys can see a little bit, au fond du canal, il y a une partie où le bateau, il disparaît, where it disappears. Ça va sous terre, it goes underground à partir de Canal Saint-Martin, and it goes back up in République. So, for about 2 km, 2 kilometers, le bateau disparaît entièrement, we don't see it. Et là, le bateau, il peut passer, the boat is able to pass parce que le bassin s'est rempli, because the basin was able to fill with water. Regarde, on le voit de l'autre côté là. We see it on the other side. Honnêtement, c'est assez impressionnant à voir. It's quite impressive because a lot of people, ils pensent toujours à la Seine. Even though the Seine is quite impressive with all the big boats and everything, Canal Saint-Martin aussi. Observing the locks, les Vaucluse en français, which are the ones controlling the different levels of water in the canal, and the fact that it was fermé au public, closed to public, led my curiosity to know what laid under the bridge. So I ended up here in Bastille, the origin of one of the French revolutions, dans un port at the port de Paris-Arsenal too. La première fois pour passer sous-sol à Paris, my first time to go underground in Paris, à part les catacombes, besides the catacombs, on va passer derrière là-bas, je sais pas si vous voyez, j'ai trop hâte de vous montrer ça, allons-y. Not many Parisians do this, actually rarely any, but my curiosity got the best of me. What I also liked is that we could see the architecture of the bridges of that time avec Napoléon le Premier. Bon, il a commencé à pleuvoir, it started to rain, but wow, the second we sailed in, quand on est passé sous le tunnel, when we went under the tunnel, j'avais l'impression d'être dans un film. I felt like I was in a movie. We could even see the crypt, which I don't think many people have seen. We passed under historic vault from Napoleon's time, des voûtes de Napoléon le Premier. And so it's crazy to go under this. Every time someone said something, it had echoing acoustics, like we could just hear the sound of the water and people's echoes. Those holes of light that we see on top, they're actually called oculi, and it's really cool because I'd seen them, je les avais vus au-dessus de Paris, and what they're for is basically to let natural light in, ventilation. And just looking at them, c'est impressionnant, very impressive to see. And what's crazy is that these are actually Parisian streets just above us. Ce tunnel, this tunnel, is about 1,854 meters. C'est assez long. And you can see that on a l'impression d'être dans un film. I felt like I was in a bit of a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. C'était super cool de voir le nom des rues. It was so cool to see the name of the streets because actually directly above us, on a les rues parisiennes. We have Parisian streets. So after that, nous ressortons. We're able to go back outside. We can see that there's actually a lock. So, you know, the lock are what's directement sous la passerelle, what's under the passageway. These locks are really what control, you know, the height of the water and that allow the boats to cross or not. You need to know that these locks, ça prend très longtemps. It takes quite a while. So each time I would say we would wait about like 5 minutes, 6 minutes just actually to go in between the two. And when the water started rushing in, quand il y avait l'eau qui rentrait, it gave me the impression of Niagara Falls because you get a bit wet devant. But c'est super beau de voir Canal Saint-Martin comme ça. It's so beautiful to see Canal Saint-Martin in this new perspective. And it was crazy to go under the tombs of some of the revolutionaries and to go under la Bastille. C'était une expérience très intéressante. Prochain arrêt, next stop, we are at Hôtel du Nord. So we have a little bit of French cinematic history right here because it comes from Marcel's movie in 1938 called Hôtel du Nord. And we can see that a lot of locals come just for an apéro. We can see that it has that old vintage style facade. So the facade is really from the time, they really kept it. It's actually classified as a monument historique, so historical monument, meaning that it's protected and you can't renovate the way that you want to. But Hôtel du Nord really is a very famous French cultural spot. So if you want to see it and grab a drink, you can. Maintenant, pour pique-niquer au canal, to picnic by the canal, on va aller à la boulangerie that's actually called the French Bastards. Oui, c'est le nom. Yes, that's the name. Honestly, I really like their products, really fresh, very local. Et là, c'était le premier. It was the first one that's right behind me. So let's choose what to eat. Allons-y. They have really cool products. C'est trop bien. I like it because the architecture is like industrial vibe. It's super cool. C'est très cool parce qu'ils ont du salé. They have salty foods. Et ils sont aussi tous sucrés. They have all these sweets. And they're very, very famous for their iconic cookie roll, which is actually like a pastry at the bottom. Il y a une pâtisserie en bas. Et juste par-dessus, on the top, there's an actual cookie. And so, c'est vraiment parfait pour prendre du sucré et du salé, to take sweet and salty for the perfect picnic à Canal Saint-Martin. whoever said it's no longer an artistic neighborhood, it definitely is. And I would say there are a lot of hipsters, like people dress a certain way, more relaxed, un peu plus relaxed, baggy clothes. It's a different vibe and I really like it. J'aime beaucoup. Donc, allons goûter the French bastards, what we got for our picnic, pour notre pique-nique. On va commencer avec le bagel, the tuna cheese melt. J'aime beaucoup le thon, donc je vais goûter ça. I like how we can just split it too. Wow, super bon. Le printemps, l'été, when it's spring, summer, j'aime pas manger trop lourd. I don't like to eat too heavy, besides sweets. But je trouve que c'est très léger. It's very light, like il y a de la salade, il y a du thon. It's quite fresh. I either love salads or I like healthy sandwiches and healthy bagels. Donc c'est parfait. En salé, on a aussi la fougasse. So honestly, fougasse, I don't know how to say this in English. If you know, dis-moi dans les commentaires. A fougasse is basically kind of like a pretzel dough, but it's more moelleux, like it's a little bit more moist inside. This one is with des olives, with du fromage, some cheese, and with du thym, which is, du thym c'est thyme. So, je vais goûter. The size of my face. This would go really well. Ça irait super bien avec du hummus. J'adore le hummus. I love eating hummus. So I think this avec du hummus or another sauce like tzatziki, ça irait trop bien. Because in my opinion, c'est un peu sec. It's a bit dry. So you dip it in with your apéro, some wine and some hummus. Très bon. Et maintenant, and now, onto le sucré, the sweet stuff, my favorite part, ma partie favorite. So I really wanted to get une brioche aux pralines. So brioche aux pralines, praline, c'est très français and it comes from Lyon, which is the region I'm from. Praline is like a sort of like almond, sugary, pink paste. So this brioche is of it. I would eat them a lot in Vieux-Lyon, old Lyon town with my grandparents growing up every summer. So je vais goûter. It's my first time à Paris. Très croustillant, very crunchy on the outside et hyper moelleux on the inside. It's very good. Not as good as the ones in Lyon, pas aussi bon, mais très bon aussi. Et dernièrement, and lastly, their bestseller, c'est le cookie roll. The cookie roll, I've never seen a pastry like this. J'en ai jamais vu avant. En gros, il y a la pâtisserie en bas, you have the pastry on the bottom, et on a le cookie qui fond par-dessus, the cookies melting on the top. A lot of people, they just go to French Bastards for this pastry, so it must be worth the hype. Allons goûter. This was le meilleur pour la fin, the best for last. I was telling the seller that I don't understand the hype of this cookie phase à Paris because I feel like I see so many videos about les meilleurs cookies de Paris, like the best cookies of Paris. And dans mon opinion, in my opinion, the best ones are homemade, like simple chocolate chip cookies. But this one, the fact that you have the pastry at the bottom, that's very flaky, very dry. And then in the middle, you have the kind of moist, melted cookie on top. C'est un mélange parfait. It's a perfect mix. It was really my favorite of these. I think it's a really great way to end the picnic, pour terminer le pique-nique sur un croquis roll. J'aime trop. What's really cool about this area is that there's so much food options and food choices. Il y a plein de petits restaurants, lots of small restaurants. There's also some really good French brasseries. Il y a des brasseries très sympas. If you want me to make a video about the brasseries that I love à Paris, tu peux me le dire dans les commentaires. Tell me in the comments because one of them is definitely here. And it's really great because you can take things take away and just te poser sur le canal, have a picnic and just have a glass of wine. It's the perfect way to end your day or spend a summer afternoon à Paris. And now, nous sommes en fin de journée. We are at the end of the day. We didn't get to do all the places, tous les endroits that I wanted to, but we did some of local ones. We also did some historical ones. I kind of just wanted to show you the vibe and the feeling, l'ambiance de cet endroit magique. Honestly, it's the most hipster, trendy area of Paris, like much more, I think, than some other ones because it's where real Parisians come to relax. C'est où les Parisiens viennent pour se relaxer. As you can see behind me, right now it's apéro hour, which apéro en France, c'est sacré. It's really sacred after work or after school or at the end of the day when you just want to catch up over du vin, wine, a baguette, and some snacks. You stay along le Canal Saint-Martin and you will mostly see only locals, like from all ages, des étudiants, students, but also just like people after their day of work. I just saw some musicians pass in front of me. Dans le passé, in the past, c'est un endroit très artistique, but I think today as well. I think it's very artsy as well, and I would really recommend it for people to put it on their Paris list because although it doesn't have all the big monuments, it still has a part of the feeling of Paris. La vraie vie à Paris. It's one of the places that made me fall in love with life here. So I really hope you add it to your list because it's honestly one I was super excited to make for this Paris neighborhood series, which if you know, I am here chaque semaine every week posting about Paris neighborhood series. So if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead so you can check out the one next week. And if you want to see the other ones, I will also link them in this description. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt!